Hello VIPs, I hope you're well. I'm really excited to introduce you to a new textures collection. Now this partly comes off the back of the very popular Jack Frost collection, and a couple of the items are kind of remakes of items that sold out and we didn't get back in there. So this is the Snow Flurry collection. Now if you know me very well at all, you'll know that I don't tend to do Christmas cards or Christmas crafting, but I do love the winter themes. So you won't usually see much in the way of red and green from me very often, but definitely winter, frosty, icy, love it. So snowflakes is what this collection is all about. We're going to start first of all with the snowflake layering panel. Now this is a 5x7 die set. It is a layering panel, so you've got two elements to it, but you can just use this one on its own if you wish. You can cut it down, you can trim into it, you can cut areas out of it. It's entirely up to you. It's very, very versatile. This one has an outer border, whereas the layering element doesn't have an outer border, and this allows you to cut this into the front of your card without having to add an additional layer and then trim around the edges or anything like that, and allows a little peek through your card with that detail laid over on top. Let's see this in action so you can see what I mean by that. Just like this. Isn't that good? This is probably my favourite card that I've made with this collection so far, so you're going to see this in a lot of places, but simply cutting that panel. Like I say, this one here does not have an outer edge, so that's going to cut directly into the front of your card. Whatever size card base you're choosing to use, you can do this because, like I say, no outer outline. And then we've got the decorative panel that will layer up on the top. Now I've layered this up with foam, adhesive foam underneath as well to give it all that dimension, but isn't that beautiful? And then here's another version as well, just layering these flat, so no foam underneath but colour. So I've got the white in the card front, and then I've got this gorgeous teal over the top, and I have blended a little bit of teal around the edges to make it all blend. Now these words are going to be coming up in a moment. The next element, this is, like I say, a kind of a part two from the Jack Frost collection that launched a couple of years ago. This is an oval snowflake border. We had a circle snowflake border previously, very, very popular, sold out very quickly. Being seasonal, we didn't restock it, but I wanted to do something quite similar for you. And it's a little bit smaller. The circle was quite large. It was kind of about 7x7 inches, something like this. This one is a bit smaller, and it's going to fit perfectly on your A2 cards if you are over in America, for example, and that's the size you prefer to do. But equally, if you like your smaller cards in the UK, it's going to work. So let's see how this works. Now there's two dies in this. You get your basic oval that's going to cut out your outline for you, so you can make shaped cards like this really easily. And then you get the decorative panel on the inside, which is this gorgeous snowflake frame. Again, I've used foam just to raise that up, but a really, really quick and simple but elegant card there. And then I've used it slightly differently, using that simple oval, first of all, to cut myself an aperture, as you can see, from acetate there into the card. I've got a navy blue in the background. I just think white and navy blue with touches of silver is stunning. And then from a silver glitter card, I think this is a Sizzix one from their Opulence range, I've cut the snowflake frame. Again, the word snow, that's all coming up, so you'll see that in a moment. So there's just two ways you can use this, but you can also use it as things like shaker cards. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Then now, okay, so with the Jack Frost collection, I had these huge snowflake dies, ever so popular, sold out very quickly. Again, didn't restock them, but we have got this alternative for you if you missed out on those. They are still large snowflake dies. Now, they are slightly smaller than the previous ones in the Jack Frost collection, because some people said they were just a bit too big for them. Some people absolutely loved them. So it's like, well, let's just do a remake, but a little bit smaller. You've got the same intricate design, the same delicate, different styles of snowflakes that will layer up beautifully. So everything's going to work because of the number of fronds, I guess, arms that we've used on them. They're all going to layer up perfectly, and you can mix and match them as much as you wish. Now I'm going to show you some examples in a moment of these, but I also want to show you the next product as well, because this is the stamp version. So exactly the same designs and sizes, everything will work together. We've got our stamps. Now some of you love die cutting, some love stamping, and some love to do both. So as you can see there, each of the snowflake dies is going to perfectly cut out your stamped image if that's how you like to craft. So pop that back there, and then let's take a look at these two both in action on a couple of cards. So I've gone a bit different here with rainbow snowflakes. I just thought that was really fun. So just a winter note, so it doesn't even have to be for an occasion. So if you're just sending someone a note at winter time, then we've got we've got the snowflakes on here. This is actually for the next item. We've got the snowflakes on here layered up. Aren't they just beautiful? I've got some foam between each one. They're really delicate and stunning. And here is those stamps. So really, really beautiful stamps used here as well, layering up, doing some heat embossing and some different techniques. So I'll show you a similar technique to this at some point on CraftStash. Then we've got what this card was for. We've got the background stamp. Now you can stamp and you can cut out any of these words if you wish, but alternatively just using it as a winter themed background is really good fun. I've got two cards here to show you. These are just absolutely beautiful. I think sometimes I don't always want to put a particular sentiment. I just want to make a wintry card. So I've got one here that's just watercolour with some heat embossing from the stamp. And then I've got this one, which is like your never-ending shaker card. So I've just stamped those words onto heat-resistant acetate and heat embossed them. So you've got the word glistening, chilly, snowflake, sparkling, joy, glow, frosty. There's all sorts in there. So that's a really fun card to create as well. And of course, you can put a snowflake on the top there as well if you want to finish that off. So that's your background stamp. And then lastly, this is such a versatile stamp and die set. Now, first of all, they're large, large sentiments. You know, I love my large sentiments, large images. We've got Baby It's Cold Outside, Unique as a Snowflake, and Let It Snow. 3 different sentiments here. The words are together on the stamp, and then we've got the dies where they're together on the dies. Now, not only are the dies going to cut out your words for you, so first of all, let's just remove the packaging so you can clearly see this. This is like I say, so versatile, because you can cut out the outline of the stamp. Once you've stamped it, you're going to cut that out. It's going to be no fussy cutting for you whatsoever. So we've got this for each of the 3. Then we've also got this, which is going to cut out the words for you. If you wish, you can do it from the stamped elements there. So you can cut out the stamped words if you want to do a nice ombre stamp and cut them out, something like that. And then of course you've got your matte and layer, or you can just cut out some cardstock. And what you're going to then get is twofold, because you're going to get the words cut out as you'd expect, and you can stick those onto a card, but you're also going to get a complete negative. Now, what I mean by complete negative is we've made sure that the dies don't have any bits falling out, so you can clearly see the words. So this is what I'm going to use in my demonstration for you VIPs today. No one else can see this demo, but yeah, so I'm going to show you how one of these can work as a shaker card. So you've got the shaker in the letters, which is quite unusual. So let's get started with this demonstration. So I'm going to use the Let It Snow sentiment here. I've got a couple of the smallest snowflakes cut out here as well in silver and white that I'm going to layer up. And we're going to make this, like I say, into a really lovely, delicate, frosty shaker card. So I've already got my mats and layers ready. Now, I have got a pattern paper. This was just a download from a magazine, but you could create your own with some sort of watercolor wash, maybe some distress inks, whichever you prefer. But because it's a thin paper, I'm going to mat it onto a piece of cardstock. But I'm going to also make use of the fact that I've got the dark blue behind. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out with the outline die here into my card. Let's put it a bit towards the top and just adhere that down. So this is the outline, the matte and layer die, and run that through my machine. I'm being a bit more careful than usual because this is copy paper rather than, or not copy paper, but it's a thin paper rather than a cardstock. So I've now got this mat. If I want to use this another time, in fact I will, I'll put that to the side and I'll show you how you can use this, and this is how versatile these dies are. What I'm now going to do is place my mat. So I do cut my mats and layers first to the size I need, which then fit my card base, and then I'm going to place the words inside. So hopefully you'll see there, we'll get this lovely blue border all the way around. Now I'd suggest, if you want to do something similar to this, ensure that you've got a nice dark contrasting colour to your card base. So if you've got a white card base, a nice dark cardstock here, vice versa. If you prefer your dark card bases or your matting and layering dark behind this or behind this, have this as a bright sort of white or pale colour layer, because you're going to get the contrast, you're going to see the words more clearly. I'm just going to also run this one through. There we go. Just been really careful about leaving everything in there, because what I can now do, and I'll do this while I'm crafting with you, is just take out the word snow here. And as you can see, it's all one piece. There's the only bits that we couldn't join are things like the dots on the eyes. But usually if you have something like an O, you're going to end up with a disc in the middle that falls out. And we've made sure that that doesn't happen. So while I'm here, I'm just going to add the snow to the background that we cut out, because this would usually be all of our waist, or could be your waist. And let's gently peel this off. I just love the different options you've got. See, I've got my eye, the dot for my eye there. So do just be careful with the dot for the eye. But you can already see what's happening here is, as I say, the piece that's the negative is readable. It's not usually readable within dies like this. If you get a word die and you try cut it out and use the waste, the negative, you're going to have elements that are sort of missing. And this is what we've done. We've been very clever about how we've broken up the letters to allow you to reuse every part of your die for different effects. Now let's just lift this up a little bit, because that's a bit close. There we go. What have I done with that? Look, I've just missed the curl off the end there, and then the word it as well. So again, with an E, usually with an E you'd have that bit in the middle that just falls out and you have to try and pop it back in, but you don't get that, and then you get a really lovely negative as well. Let's just dot our eye, very important I think for the finished look. There we go. So we've got this extra panel that I've just created. That's all would have been my waist. I wasn't going to use this, but I've just done that for you just so you can see the additional ways that you can use this set. So what I am going to use though is this. So I'm going to place my border here, and don't forget you can of course use your inks around the edge to give it a bit of a vignette if you want to. Do some inking. You know, I'm really a big fan of distress inking and oxides and things, so I'd usually go around the edge of this, but I want to just sort of show you the die cutting technique more than anything today. I'm just going to place that, just being wary, checking my mats and layers, my border all the way around the edge, all fits nicely. There we go. Okay, so then when I bring that over to the white, look how that pops. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to adhere a piece of acetate over the top here. Now I'm going to just glue it all over. So make sure that there's no bits that are going to be just flapping around there. There we go. Because I'm going to make a shaker. Let's just make sure I've got the glue everywhere I need for that. Now I'm quite happy to use wet glue with acetate. It's not a problem at all as long as you don't smear it, smudge it and squelch it out of the edges. So I can see there's a tiny little bit there where it has come out. I mean, it will all dry clear anyway, but it's better if you can avoid too much excess. Okay, so then what I need to do is I'll just put the lid back on my glue. I need to take a foam tape. So let's get a good one, a nice chunky one. This is a CraftStash one. I'm going to put a layer of foam at the top there. Just trim that. A layer down here, making sure not to be seen through the, in fact this can go all the way down, not to be seen through the letters there. The same on this side, so make sure when you're planning and die cutting and cutting your panel, make sure that you've got enough space at the side of your letters for some foam tape. It doesn't have to be foam tape that's as wide as this. I'm going to put a panel of foam, butt it right up against there and against there, because this is going to be a shaker, and then another piece at the bottom. Now something I also like to do is just add corners as well if need be, because this just prevents any of the glitter coming out of the joins a bit more. So with my foam I'm just going to add 4 little corners. 1, squish that right into the corner. I've got enough room in this corner. It also takes up some of the space where you don't really need your glitter or whatever it be going. I've only got a tiny little bit of space in this bottom corner here, so let's see, we might have to cut that down even more. There we go. Okay, perfect. Right, now I'm going to, where's my anti-static bag? Very important. Just give this inside where your glitter's going to go, or your sequins or whatever it may be. Just do an anti-static bag rub and shake just around the edge of the tape. That's going to help you or help prevent that from those bits from sticking to the edges of your foam a little bit. Now I'm going to take everything off. And there we go. Bit time consuming, but the CraftStash foam tape does come away really nicely from the backing. It is my favourite to use. I love the thick width of this one because it's great for covering a big area as well. Okay, so now put your cards side by side so you can plan out exactly where your sparkle, your shaker element is going to go. So I'm not going to put too much because it's white on white, so I just want to ensure that's in the right place. I have a little bit of detail going on in the background, and that's also going to help anything from jumping up at you while you're trying to place this, because you've put that anti-static down. There we go. And now I've got, it's hard for you to see on a video, but I've got the sparkle going on the inside. And as I did say to you, I do have some snowflakes that I'm going to add as well. Which way round? So I've got a white one I can put down here with a silver one over the top of a different design, but they all just work together really nicely. Shall we do it? Let's do it this way. You can twist and turn them for different looks. And then another one at the top. And if anyone's not singing this, then I'm disappointed. Let's put it that way, and then this one, which I accidentally stuck on first, can go there. A blob of glue in the middle because I'm going to just put a little sequin or a gem. I think I've got some gems, some iridescent ones. Ah yes, here. These will sit really nicely. So can you see what I mean about the contrast between the two colours there, the white and the blue? You do really need to have those as contrasting colours rather than anything that's too similar, otherwise you'll struggle to read the words a little bit. And just try and pick up one of these. You know what, let's just get my fingers in there. There we go. So a very simple card for you today, just to show you how those dies and stamps work together. Now you can go full on with a lot more snowflakes if you wanted to, but it's really good fun. And don't forget, you've also got, this would be the waist, and you've got that you can then use on another card, and you can make a matching set. Perhaps this can be your card, and this would be sort of your gift tag then that coordinates. So I hope you love the Snow Flurry collection as much as I do. Please do find everything available on CraftStash, and don't forget, as VIPs, you're all going to get your 10% off as well, in addition to any other offers that might be on at the time. So I will hope you can join me on Friday. That's Friday let me just check, I think it's the 4th. I'm going to double check the date. Yes, Friday the 4th of August. It seems strange doing snowflakes in August, but I hope you can join me then for the launch and to see some more demonstrations using it. So thank you everybody so much for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care.